This conference will now be recorded.
So we are going to start from the yesterday lecture where we have stopped. So we somebody has asked that, sir, what if grub itself is going to be get corrupted? How we can recover that? Hmm. So I'll share two links actually. One, you can read it about in a bit more explanatory way. This is the one which I did not spoke about, and this is the one which I spoke about yesterday. The second one is the one which I spoke about yesterday, and in the first one, what all things has been done. In the second, you can go through that actually. The second, first and second, both of it. So let me go ahead and show. Let me share the screen. Um, Sorry, I was on mute. So my screen seems to be visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, visual.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there can be two issues. You may encounter grub issue, and then you may not be able to boot. And after that, let's say your grub is working and you're not able to successful with in that in between also you can hit a error which is called uh, uh, a case I can explain. Let's say you have all your root file system is flooded with the logs, or maybe it's all flooded, you don't have any space remaining in your root file system. So what happens is like uh, it starts from the grub, and then it loads the VM lineage, then it loads the initramfs. So when it load, it means it's extract those things. So when it is extract, the it expects some of the space available in the file system. So um, if you have written everything, all the space if you've utilized, it's not going to expand the initramfs, and hence it's going to give you the prompt for initramfs like the way it gives for the grub. So in that case, you need to once again go into the single user mode, or maybe this thing whatever I'm going to follow, you might want to do this, and then probably recover the system by deleting some of the unwanted file and freeing up some of the space. So I have logged in, and I have logged in here, and grub file location is boot grub2 grub.cfg. This is a file. So let's say I have removed this file itself. I've deleted this file and moved it at this place. Moved it in root. Now we can see that it's not in grub2. We don't see grub.cfg file here. And now when I do reboot, it's going to reboot. But after reboot, we can't boot the system here. You can see that. So similarly, the way we have gone into the grub prompt here, you can see this is the grub prompt. I'm talking about this one. Similarly, when it's entered into the initramfs and it's trying to load, and you are already flooded with the things, rootfs, it's already flooded with the storage space. Then here you will be able to see that initramfs hash. So let's see if it's working. Yeah, it's working. So what I want is, so how to recover the system. So to recover the system, I will go to the devices, optical disk. I will add the CentOS. So if you are using any hardware system, okay, let me increase the display. Yeah, so if you are using a hardware system, it means like this is a virtual machine I'm using on. So if suppose you are not using a virtual machine and you are using the Linux system on your hard disk itself or on your laptop or desktop itself, so in that case you are required to make a bootable pen drive. For that you can use a tool called unetbootin, or you can do the dd command as well. So there are several things comes to make a bootable pen drive. Or if you have cd drive, which eventually means it's been used less in nowadays since a pen drive is there, so you can make bootable pen drive, or you can use either your dvd. But you need any external device to boot from if you're using a laptop or desktop. So it starts booting from that from that cd or dvd, and that's what the option I have added it here, to boot from this dvd. And when I will reboot, it's going to give me the prompt the way we have gone into the installation. So here is the difference. In CentOS 7, it's giving us an option to troubleshoot, but in Ubuntu, it gives us an option for going into the live mode, and from there we can do the rescue. So let me go ahead with the troubleshooting, then we'll see what is it about live mode, what I have explained yesterday. So this is a troubleshooting, and I am going to select the second option. Here mouse will not work, so I need to use keyboard only, and I'm going to press enter. Rescue CentOS system. So now this time it's booting from the CD drive or DVD drive, whatever I have plugged in. It's not booting from the hard disk. And in the second link, whatever I have shared, that you can follow on Ubuntu, and all those things has already been done automatically by this CentOS, and which is mentioned in first link, whatever I have shared to you. So here we will be able to see that all the things will automatically get it done. It'll ask us to continue, because I am into troubleshooting mode. So I will continue with that. I pressed enter, and after that For chroot, it's asking me to run this command. So before running the command, I wanted to see that why it's asking me to run that command. So I'll run that lsblk command to see the all the partition. So I can see that SDA1, SDA2, which was CentOS root, CentOS swap, which we have created during the last time whenever we install the system, and which is mounted into MNT SysMH. And SC1 has been mounted into MNT SysMH boot. So you can see that the first two part of the second link is talking about mounting and binding the boot files. Mounting and binding the file system uh, with the ISO file system. So it has mounted and binded automatically here in this case, and hence it gave us this mount point as well. Now after this, we are required to, the last step is to do the ch root so that we can become a root in this file system sysmh, and then we can execute the command. Okay, so let's see. You are able to see the directory structure here. Okay. ls/home is there. No, we don't have home. Okay. Now I'm going to do chroot /mnt/sysmh. Now you can see that I have got a bash executable of that root file system. So you can see the directory structure of this ISO file system, which is bin, dev, firmware, lib, lost and found, modules, root, has been, all these things. Now I am into bash 4.2 and I'm into I have got a root, root or running terminal inside this our corrupted grub file system. So if I'm going to do ls space /, it's going to show me this one, bin dev grub.cfg. You can see that we have moved the grub.cfg from one file to that file, another place, to make the system unstable. And you can see all these things, and we can see the ls space home. This is also having test and user one. So this is the thing, and what I was required to do here, cp space, I'm going to copy this file onto its own location, boot grub to here. I'm going to copy and I'm going to run this command, grub to hyphen install, where I want to install /dev/sda. I need not to do sda1, I need to do sda here. After installing, no error reported. I want to reboot. If I reboot, it will not let me reboot because this file system is mounted and I am inside this file system. And this is not a running system actually. This is not a running computer. So it will not allow me to reboot. Running in chroot, ignoring request. So I need to come out of this chroot, whatever I have mounted, by typing the exit. So I am going to exit the bash or the terminal of this root file system of the corrupted grub. I have exited. Now I came to a file system from this ISO, whatever the ISO I have loaded. Now if I do reboot, it will reboot. And immediately I am going to remove the ISO. You can see that you have your grub menu. Now let's see whether it's giving us things or not in rescue. You can see that some of the warning and issues, these are all things is because we have mounted our file system, uh, and some of the folders we have binded with the existing ISO. So it has taken the permissions, or it has altered the permission of its own with the ISO's file permissions. It's rebooted automatically. Maybe it might be trying to reset its own permission and do something, since it has booted from that, since it has recovered from a crash or the problem. We have here our system. We are back to our system. You can see that. So let me show how it looks like after booting from the live mode. I'm going to plug this Ubuntu and reboot. I have not corrupted anything here at this point of time. You can see that. Try or install Ubuntu. We have got a grub menu of Ubuntu ISO. Try or install Ubuntu, Ubuntu in safe graphics, OEM install for manufacturers, test memory. So let's go for try and install. Try or install Ubuntu. Now this is going to give me a live mode with GUI, and there it's going to show me an option to install this Ubuntu. Depending upon your RAM, it may take some more time as well. If you're using maybe 1 GB or less than that, it may take some more time. Here I think I do have 2 GB of RAM given to this system. I can cross verify. CPU, yeah, CPU also I have given one processor count, one CPU only, which I should have given at least 2 to execute the faster. And RAM I have given 4 GB. You can see that around 4 GB. Even though it's taking time, maybe because of CPU. So try Ubuntu, install Ubuntu. Our purpose is to boot it into the live mode. So I'll go for try Ubuntu. I don't want to install this Ubuntu. If you have NVIDIA card in your system, it may not boot even some of the older Ubuntu. Maybe in newer Ubuntu they might have fixed it. So in NVIDIA card, if you are having, there is an NVIDIA driver which doesn't let your display comes, or maybe the GUI will not come if you have, and if you are using the older Linux, older Ubuntu. So for that, NOUVEU, some driver name is there which you are required to blacklist. You can Google how to blacklist a driver, and you can stop that driver to be get loaded during boot time. That's one of the issue I have came across. So I have mentioned here. So this is the Ubuntu, what we have got. Let me open the terminal, desktop display, open in terminal. Okay, so we have the sudo now lsblk. You can see that this time it's all loop devices. Loop devices means CD drive, and SDA1, SDA2. It's nowhere mounted here. You can see that. And lastly, it was showing as mounted. SDB, SDC, and SR0. SR0, it's again a CD-ROM. And SDB, SDC was the two partition of 15 GB, which we have, 8 GB and 15 GB, which we have used for our work. So you can see that here at this point of time, everything is on RAM, still on RAM. Sorry, not yum apt update. If I do update, it will update. If I install something, yum install httpd. Sorry, install httpd. Okay, here it named as Apache 2. It's asking for me to install. I have pressed yes, it's installing. But currently it's going to install only on RAM. If I reboot, everything is gone. Even though if you want to do a web browser and download some of the files, I can show you. Hmm. I am going to download simply anything, nothing, nothing is specific. Just to showcase you that if I download something and if I reboot the system, it's not going to be there. Mm, It's going to give me any download or not. Mm. Just hold on for a second. I'll be back in a minute. Yep, I'm back. So it's I'm just downloading any package. Whether the terminal got downloaded something or not. It's still pinging. It's still talking to the google.com. That's strange. It used to give an option to download. Okay, anyways, don't download. Let's create a file here itself, temporary file. In desktop, I'm going to create a new file, folder name, testing Ubuntu. Yeah, we have got this. Okay, I'll come back to your question. So here index.html, it's got downloaded. For that reason only, I have run this command wget google.com, which I know that it's going to download index.html. So we have one empty folder. Okay, let's don't make it empty folder. So we have a folder testing Ubuntu and we have a file index.html. Now let's reboot the system and see whether we have all the things or not. Because currently I said that it's still on RAM. We have never committed. We have not committed any single thing on the disk. Okay, it's rebooting. Coming back to the question. What was the question? Is there any specific website from where we can download packages or we can get for live environment? We can get for live environment. I didn't get the meaning of that. That's not putting. Why want packages for the live server? Okay, I'll explain. Don't worry. What is there? Hmm, seems to be got stuck. It's not responding to the reboot. Let's see if it's going to take some time. Okay. So meanwhile, I can reply to your question. There is no such specific website from where you can download. The reason for that is it's not advisable to download offline. But even though if you are forced to download offline, and transfer it to an online system, or sorry, if you're forced to download from online and transfer it to offline system, then what you can do is you can install the package in one system. I mean, this is the safest way. What I'm showing to you. You can clear the cache. After clearing the cache of yum, you can download the package, and after downloading the package, you can see which are all dependencies it's downloading, and you can copy all the packages along with the dependency, along with what was your one package which you were required. So getting those packages, either you can download from the repository link, whichever it's wherever it's pointing to, or you can get from the cache, the RPM. Whenever we download the package, it saves somewhere the RPM packages. In Ubuntu, I'm sure I should be able to display you where the package is saved, but I'm not sure why it's not coming for CentOS. It has to. I haven't digged over it much, why it's not coming and where the packages are going. Yeah, so why you should not download an individual package? The reason for that is there will be several dependencies along with several versions, or the specific version along with specific versions, and you never know when you open a website and for a package name, you will have several packages with the same name. You might have seen that yesterday itself, I was giving a demo for installing a package using RPM. So in that itself, I have downloaded HTTPD, but that I have downloaded off for another version by mistake because I didn't notice the version number which I'm supposed to download. So after downloading, when I was installing, it's looking for that HTTPD-tools for the corresponding version. So to satisfy that dependency, I need to install the another version of another package. So it's better not to do that. It's better to do install locally and then copy all those packages to avoid all these issues. Okay, let this be booted. And let me see if I can boot this CentOS July again. No, I can't boot because there only I have. Okay, I'll. It's going to take some time. Let me remove the disk and reboot the system. I'll plug that pen drive, that ISO in another system, and I'll make that up so that you should be able to see. So in another window, I'm turning on the Ubuntu. As soon as it will turn on, I'll share that screen. I'll share that window. So we have here our CentOS. So let's proceed further. So there is one more thing I wanted to tell. Okay, so let's say if I wanted to know that which are all services are enabled at the boot time. To showcase that, I will run a command. It's called systemctl -at space services. Hmm? Oh, okay. So this shows a list of unit. It means this is a kind of service. This is a service. Whatever the unit it shows, this is a service. Whether it's loaded or not, after loaded at the runtime, it's active or not. Even though if it's active, if it's running currently or not. These are all the three fields and the brief description about it. Let's take an example of HTTPD itself. Whether it's installed or not, let me check. Okay, it's already installed. So let me see, systemctl lat services, HTTPD. You can see that HTTPD is loaded at runtime. It's active and running. So I will stop that service. Systemctl stop HTTPD. You can see that HTTPD.service here, it is still loaded at runtime. It means, sorry, boot time, not runtime. It's still loaded at boot time. It means like if I boot, it's going to start again. But currently it's inactive and dead. It's not working. So let me reboot the system and show you if it's booting during boot time, if it's coming on its own or not. Even though we have turned off the services and we are rebooting the system. You can see that HTTPD is loaded and active and running right now. So let's say if you want to see only active services, for that command is systemctl -t service -state equals to active. These are all the currently running and active services. You can check for load or active or any subunit as well. So any doubt so far in the last section and this section? Okay, I'll take that, then nobody has any doubt. Okay, this is the command to see all active services. Systemctl -t service -state equals to active. Okay, I'll paste a good tutorial on this. So if you need, you can go directly there itself. rather than typing the command. This is the link for that. Here it has mentioned several other things as well. You can go for. Okay, so any doubt? Anybody has having any doubt? Okay, so let me tell about keys or encryption keys. So encryption keys are basically okay. It's going to take some time, I think, and we don't have that much time. So we'll start tomorrow. Encryption keys, and then how to do a passwordless login to another system. We'll learn a little bit of theory about what are all encryption keys. I mean, what is the meaning of public keys, private keys, and how things works, and how you get an HTTPS as well in a website. What is the meaning of that HTTPS, and logging in into a system using a public key where it has already stored a private key. Sorry, logging in into a system using private key where the public key has already been stored into the remote system. So all those things you will see tomorrow. That's it for today. Let me stop the recording.